Hi all, myself Mohammad Nadeem, and I am working in NEC Technologies India Private Limited. Today we look into the how to automatically generate code documentation using Sphinx. So here we'll go. So what you think, is code documentation really very important? So yes, it is important, and particularly it is very important for a project which is like open source, like OpenStack, where many developers collaborate each other to develop something good. So we must have to understand the code written by some other developer. For that, a clear code documentation is very important to understand and like update or maintain the code. So here is what is Sphinx. Sphinx actually is an open source documentation generator which generate several output format like in HTML, PDF or EPUB using some REST text markup languages. So Sphinx was initially created for Python official library document, but over the time it gives support for C and C++ language also, and it has planned to support other language also. So as you see in the diagram, there is a restructured text markup language takes as an input, and it gives output of documentation in different format like HTML, then PDF, then EPUB. So there is a history of Sphinx. Like before 2007, Python organization used LaTeX to maintain its code, but however it was very hard to maintain. It was complex. Then George Brandel invented this Phoenix, which provide a very ease and good way to maintain the code to generate automatically documentation for Python whole libraries. Here are not only Python, there are many other company also uses Sphinx like SQL, Ansible, Amazon AWS, then Jinja 2, and many more companies are currently now using Sphinx to maintain their documentation. So I am mainly talking about in today's presentation is Sphinx one of extension, that is Autodoc. There are other also like auto summary, doc test coverage. Autodoc is about generating documentation from the code. Auto summary is used for maintaining summary of your documentation. If your documentation is too large, then auto summary will brief it and provide a link which point to the main document. Doc test is for to test the code snippet you use in your documentation, and coverage is like benchmarking, or it's just show the result how much your documentation covering your code status. So now we are talking about Sphinx Autodoc. It is used to generate API document from source code. Mainly two principles required to generate API documentation. One is you must have to maintain the docstring for every principal classes, method and functions, and there you have to follow some annotation and some guidelines. That is, I have given a link that is Sphinx use numpy docstring format. So in this link, if you go, there is a huge details what annotation to use and how you have to write the docstring such that Sphinx will pass it and generate a beautiful document for your code. So first part I am not explaining because there is a link and it's pretty much clear defined there. And the second part is how to configure your Sphinx to generate the document. So second part I will cover in this presentation. So starting from installation. Installation is pretty simple. You can use Python pip to install Sphinx. Then after installing, you need to just create a set up a doc directory using a Sphinx quick start command. After completion of that command, you will see a directory structure like build, makefile, and source. Build is the directory where your actual output document will get generated and stored inside the build. And in source file, your .rst files will generated from your code and will store into the source file. So here is some snippet. First, you need to set up your home directory. So inside your project, I am taking example of Glance project. Glance is well-known project of OpenStack. So inside Glance, I have created a docs directory where I initialize the Sphinx quick start command. After running this command, it will ask many inputs. So I have highlighted some points where you need to give some input. Otherwise, you just press enter, it will take default values. Like you need to specify your project name, author name, then project version, release version. And one main thing here is indicate Sphinx extension. In this case, I have written Y for Autodoc because if you need Autodoc module to generate documentation from your code, right? So then create makefile, you need to put yes. So that was the initialization part. The main generation part is there. It's very simple. You need to just run a single command, Sphinx API doc, using my o -o source, and then your destination. Then your main package name. Here my package is the folder name inside which your main code .py files are reside. So when you run this command, so Sphinx API doc is generate .rst file from your my package codes. It will basically took all the your docstring and generate the RST file. So here I have shown that command. As soon as I run this command, all the RST file will get generated and it get stored inside your .source directory. Yeah. Then after that you can produce that documentation in any of format, like in HTML or in PDF or in EPUB format also. Here if you want to produce your documentation in HTML, there is a very simple command. You have to just execute make HTML and it will generate the HTML files from .rst file that just we have generated in the previous step. So Sphinx API doc will generate the RST file from your main source file, and from there using make HTML file will generate the HTML file from your .rst file. So when you give the full path of the document into any browser, it will show a nice like HTML structure of your document. So there are many things, like if you want to include some other file, say there is a deep thought utils.py file, you want to include this file to any of your other file in your documentation, then you can do it in two ways. Either the whole content of the new file you want to show inside your original file, then you can use auto module annotation. Otherwise, if you want to just give a link of your new document to the original one, then you can use talk tree annotation. Just in next line of your talk tree, you need to just mention the name of your file. So here's one thing you have to very careful about if you are using Sphinx. Sphinx actually import your modules while generating document from docstring. So if there is some code like I have mentioned in snippet 1, in that case that delete world function also get executed and your all file will get deleted at the time of documentation generation. So in that case you can use second method where you can just write name equal to main. In that case delete world method not get called while like importing your main module. Okay, here is some other things. If you want to, here is an example. There is a docstring of dumps method, and when you generate the documentation in HTML format, you can see the snippet. It will show your method and what are the parameters are used there. And here is another annotation. If you want to refer some function of any other file, then you can use the func annotation and just give the path of your main method. Then it will give you a link option in your HTML file. When you click that method name, it will redirect into a new page to the method. You can put an example directly, whole example in your docstring, like class str annotation, and when you can directly copy and paste your whole code snippet from Python interactive cell into the docstring, and when you use make HTML, it will show you like this. So overall, what I want to say, it is very easy to generate documentation if you use Sphinx. So you don't need to write anything manually, or you don't need to do anything manually. It will provide a very better and easy way to automatically generate your documentation that will link your corresponding code. So it's really nice. I think most of the OpenStack project already use Sphinx. If your module don't use it, so you can go for it. It's really nice one. Okay, thank you.